Luis, I kind of just want to start by asking you how it was you got involved in this project. Kind of how did your casting come about? And when you read the script for Havoc for the first time, what kind of stood out to you the most and made you want to be part of this project?
Well, number one, it was Gareth Evans.
Mm,
He's an incredible action director and he has a great reputation. And I've seen his films and uh, I read the script. I thought it was a great role for me to do. I enjoyed that role. And it was an action movie, um, full blown.
mm,
And, the opportunity to work with someone like Tom Hardy also, and it just pretty much had the right formula for me to want to be a part of it.
sure. No, totally. And I'm such a fan of your previous work too. And I also just kind of love the way how you can kind of do all these different genres. Like you've made me laugh out loud in We're the Millers before. I'm a huge Paul Thomas Anderson fan, so I've loved all the stuff you've done with him. And then you're in like these serious dramas like Narcos and all that kind of stuff. So just kind of I mean, you've done action movies before. Like I think The Last Stand with Arnold Schwarzenegger is a hugely underrated movie, and I love that. But kind of, what's it like, kind of being able to step into the action genre again like this? Do you enjoy doing this? Are we going to be able to see like more of this side of you in the future?
Look, I love stepping into it because it's 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 entertaining. I mean, Havoc in itself, it's like a throwback kind of movie to an era of these type of action movies.
Hmm.
You know, and you again, I give a lot of credit to Gareth Evans because he just knows how to shoot this stuff and make that flow and keep that adrenaline rush going. You know, it's like it's like it's like oh my god, watching this movie is like having like 10 cups of espresso. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Because by the end you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna have a heart attack. I can't
I
believe
know.
oh my god, oh whoa, and so I like that. I like that because it's different. It's like you ever have a conversation with someone and this person just won't stop talking, and you're
Mm.
just waiting for them to catch their breath so you could. Well, that's what this movie's like.
Oh yeah, totally.
It moves, it moves. It's like, oh my god, what can I say something here, and it just keep going.
Hmm.
And just when you think it's all gonna die down, it's like, oh no, what? Again, oh, did not see that coming. Listen, this film, number one, I give credit to the people that directed all the action scenes.
Hmm.
Some of these scenes have to be rehearsed for like 2 or 3 weeks before even shot.
Sure.
You know, some of the scenes took a few weeks to shoot because of all the stuff that was going on. And I'm really proud to say that nobody got hurt in the making of this movie because you have all these things going on and exploding and this and that and this and they were really safe about it and everybody was able to do their art and act and convey the messages and do all their actions and stuff like that. So
Right.
yeah, I got a black belt. No, just kidding.
Sure. Totally. And that's kind of what I wanted to ask you about next too, because there's that one, I mean, there's so many action scenes in this movie, like you said, but there's that one that takes place in the nightclub about halfway through the movie. And you kind of come in like towards the end of that scene, but like that's still a long time because that scene goes on for like almost 10 minutes, it feels like. And there's just so much happening, and like you're there right when things are really heating up. I'm kind of just wondering, like, what was your experience filming that part of Havoc? Like, have you ever done anything like that intense before? And kind of what were the biggest challenges that came with being part of such a elaborate action scene where 20 things are happening all at once?
Wow. Well, again, because you have to shoot all that in segments,
Hmm.
so you really have to be ready for that emotional moment of when your segment comes up, because they chop it up and then they edit it to make it all look at one flow. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And you come in because I'm coming in because I'm looking for my girl there, and just trying to keep her out of trouble, and all this stuff is breaking loose. And I go, okay, you know what? I guess we got to commit to what's going on here, and let's try to make it out of here, and whatever it takes.
Sure. No, totally.
That's the attitude.
Hmm. Totally, totally. And it's so cool to watch. Like everything that happens in this movie just had me at the edge of my seat. And we've talked about, or you mentioned Gareth Evans, and I kind of just wanted to ask you about him because he is so good at this kind of thing. Like he did the Raid movies, which are just like nonstop action scene after action scene. I'm just kind of curious what your experience with him was like. Like, is he pretty hands-on when it comes to directing? Or like since you've been around for so long, you've done a lot of movies like this, do you kind of just come to set and get to do your thing?
Um, Pretty much he let me do my thing.
Hmm.
He had because it's trust, right?
Sure.
But also I understood that character inside and out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have to like, you know, I've mentioned before, my life is my reference, and
Sure.
so I used to hang out with a guy like that,
Mm,
and he was kind of sketchy, but he also looked out for people. You
mm,
know what I mean? So, and that was my approach. So he pretty much trusted me in what I was doing, and it worked. And you saw it in the movie. And the scene that I had with Tom Hardy.
mm.
It was pretty very organic.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. And it was a nice element to the whole story.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you about next too, that scene, because it's so intense and the two of you have can bring such an intense personality kind of to the camera when you're doing something like that. I'm just kind of curious what it's like having, first of all, Tom Hardy as a scene partner, and then like, is it always that intense, like in the moment when you're filming, or when the cameras go off, is it suddenly like more relaxed? Can you chill out for a little bit?
When you shoot scenes like that, you know, to me it's all about the organics of it, because I don't really think about it. I allow for whatever's gonna happen to flow naturally, organically, as I said. And I think Tom had the same approach to that. It worked, you know. I mean, after every take, after a couple of takes, I just turn and like just kind of walk away from it, step off it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I don't hold on to it, and it's like turning off a switch, with me anyway. And then when I come back into it, I just turn that switch back on and say, okay, let's go. You
Sure.
know, I don't think I ever do the same thing twice.
Mm,
I always find something differently, but
mm,
it's not because I'm thinking about it, because that's just how it flows out of me.
sure. Sure. No, that makes total sense. And your character, movie Arul is so interesting too, because I feel like the writing gives us just like the perfect amount. Like we kind of get to know him, but yet there's also so much that like could more be explored about him. Like he's had this whole life before all of this happened. So I'm kind of just wondering, like, when you are trying to get into character, like, do you like write the whole character backstory in your head before you start filming, or do you kind of just jump in?
Um, I had a reference, and it was somebody that I grew up with,
Mm,
and he kind of had a junkyard back in the day in the neighborhood, and he was kind of sketchy, but he was like super cool. and he also looked out for people.
Mm,
So in knowing that, those are the elements that I bought. You know,
sure.
because it's like, do I trust them? Yeah, I trust them, but not all the way. But well, let me $20. I just better pay it back.
Mm,
And then he'll say, "Nah, don't worry about it." I said, "No, no, no, for real, take it." I said, "No, no, no, okay." "Oh, you sure?" Okay, boom. And it's not like you owe him anything. It's just, he just looked out for you,
sure.
you know. But he still had this element that he can be harmful, dangerous, whatever you want to label it. But so that's how, so that's again, that was like my reference
Mm,
to
sure.
the Raul character.